Alrighty, guys, welcome, one and all. We are about ready to get started here with some dark summer. Alrighty, thank you all for joining me. This is your host, ID Gister. As you can see, we've got everything set up here for Normandy 44, The Dark Summer. Of course, this is by Ted Racer and published by GMT Games. I am only using half the map, by the way, because I just think we're going to be doing the shore invasion and going through that step. So what we're going to basically be doing is going step by step through the playbook and the sequence of play that comes in the playbook and going through that. So if you actually own the game here, you can see that it comes with a nice playbook. And it goes through kind of step by step. It teaches you how to play the extended example of play. We're going to be going through this and learning how to play the game here. Hopefully without knocking all of our counters and chits over. You can see we got quite a few stacks up there. These, of course, are all the reinforcements back there along the edge for the Americans, the Germans, and, of course, the British. Probably won't even need those, but I have them all separated just in case. These should be the default setups. And, yep, we're going to go through the extended example of play right out of the rule book. So we're going to follow along with it. It's going to teach us how to play. But, before we get into that, before we can even think about doing that, we got to look at something else. If I can find the right screen. That is not the right screen, my friends. That is not the right screen. That is not the right screen either. Well, let's just create a new screen capture here. And that's the one I'm looking for right there. That's what we're talking about. All right, so on the back of the General Rules book, there is a nice summarization that goes through all of the important things that you might or may not have remember as you go through the rules and read them. So we're going to cover those because I think it's important. And I think it's, things that we're going to need to know as we progress through this. So, of course, the general rule reminders are stacking limits. A maximum of 4 combat units from at most 1 division.
Sorry, I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. It looks like...
Sorry, I had to unplug Alexa because she decided to be a pain in the butt. All right, stacking limits. A maximum of 4 combat units from at most 1 division. Treat Allied airborne and German flak units as independent units. Strong points and battalions do not count. Of course, it's referencing rule number 5.1. Formation entry die roll. On the storm turn, the Allied player applies a -2 die roll modifier and must use the modified die roll. On both sun turns, the German players apply a -2 die roll modifier and must use the modified die roll. Bridges. The following units may not cross a major river without a bridge. Armor, armored cavalry, flak, and mechanized. C, W, and S lettered hexes. German units may not stop in these hexes, nor attack Allied units in them. Allied operation boundary lines. U.S. and French units can only cross the line at the end of the round in which a U.S. unit first entered the Brittany box. Exchange results on the CRT. German attacker consisting solely of KG or Tigers can treat as BL1. So on an exchange result, German attacker consisting solely of a KG or a Tiger can treat an exchange as a BL1. That's interesting. Bocage and city terrain. German defenders in Bocage, turns 1 through 6. And in city hexes, 1 through 10, ignore DR. And when 2 or more steps are defending, they treat DR star as BL1. A single defending step retreats on a DR star instead. These effects do not apply to a stack consisting solely of flak units, OST battalions, and or SP. And of course, all these are given with the rules reference number. Open beaches when defending alone or have a combat strength of 1 and ignore DR results. When defending alone, they have a combat strength of 1 and ignore DR results, but are eliminated by a DR star results and any results requiring a step loss. While allied units are defending at an open beach, the open beach contributes nothing to the defensive strength, ignores all combat results other than DE. Allied units that retreat 1 hex into an open beach hex can ignore the second hex of retreat. OOS effects cannot receive replacements. Movement allowances is reduced to 3. Combat strength is halved, rounding down. May not receive some kind of combat support. Allied units may not attack. German units always suffer attrition. Allied units suffer attrition only in rain or storm turns. Shoreberg isolation. Out of supply German units may be relocated into the Shoreberg box. German units in Shoreberg cannot leave during a round that begins with Shoreberg isolated. I'm not sure how much of this is going to apply for us, but this section will, because we're probably going to be going through a lot of the D-Day stuff. Strong points. If required to retreat, they are eliminated. They ignore DR, but not DR star results during the Allies' first and second wave rounds if they are attacked only from the beach approach hex. They may not ignore DR results during the second wave round if the attacker includes first or second wave units that have landed at an open beach. Omaha Beach. The augmented Omaha defensive markers add 3 to the combat strength of each strong point when defending during the first and second wave rounds. Also, these strong points treat a DR star result as an exchange and are considered to have 2 steps for the purposes of determining Allied losses in an exchange. A result of BL1 still eliminates the strong point. These effects cease at the end of the second wave round. Point to Hawk. The U.S. 2nd Rangers battalions that assault Point to Hawk treat printed exchange and BL1 results as defender eliminated during the first wave round only. Allied first wave. All U.S., British, and Canadian first wave units attack their assigned beach hex. No other combat is allowed. No combat support markers are available. Units that eliminate this strong point advance into the beach hex, receive an open beach marker, and may immediately advance 1 additional hex, ignoring enemy zones of control. Units that do not eliminate this strong point remain on their beach approach hex. First German reaction. All normal reaction round rules apply except that the movement allowance of active units is halved and units may not use the road movement rate. Allied second wave. If the assigned beach hex is open, second wave units are placed there, ignoring stacking restrictions, and up to 4 units may attack any adjacent German unit. I'm sure we're going to see plenty of that as we go through the rule example. If you assign beach hexes that are not captured, second wave units join first wave units in the beach approach hex. Sorry, somebody was walking by the window. I wanted to find out who the hell they were. Let's start again. If an assigned beach hex has not been captured, second wave units join first wave units in the beach approach hex, ignoring stacking restrictions, And up to 4 units attack the beachheads. If the attack is successful, all units advance after combat and an open beach marker is placed. First and second wave units that have landed at an open beach may attack adjacent German units. Naval support markers are now available. Units that capture a defending hex may immediately advance a second hex, but may not ignore enemy zones of control unless it is negated by a friendly unit. At the end of a round, place a closed beach marker in each beach hex that remains in German hands. Any Allied survivors in the beach approach hex become available as reinforcements on turn 2. The stacking limit must be observed at the end of the round. Allied airborne units may not attack in the first or second wave rounds. Second German reaction: all normal reaction round rules apply, and the Allied third wave reinforcements in the first U.S. and British move rounds of turn 1. All of the respective third wave reinforcements enter without a formation entry die roll. The seaboard units are placed in the open beach hex at the assigned beach, observing this stacking limit. They may displace as many units as necessary in one hex inland or along the coast. One U.S. glider unit, the 325th of the 82nd Airborne, is placed in any hex containing a unit of the 82nd Airborne within the stacking limits. One British glider unit, 6 of the 6, is placed in a hex 4704, and there you go. Woo! Well, that took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to, but that's how it goes sometimes. All right. So here we are back on the beach. Here. All right. So, as I mentioned, we are going to go through, not this book, we're going to go through this one here. This is the playbook here. And we're going to start, and we're just going to follow along, and we're going to see how it goes. So hopefully not too bad. This is the extended example of play. I figured people can learn from what we do here, so they might be able to learn the game themselves and get into the game a little bit quicker and faster. In this example play, we will look at the opening round of turn number 1. No optional rules are going to be used in this example of play. The German player randomly assigns the 22 strongholds and the 7 OSS battalions to their respective setup locations by placing them on their question side up. So you can see units like there and there and all along the coast there. All these units, basically you put them in a pile, shuffle them up, and then just randomly place them all over the map. So you don't know, neither the attacker nor the defender know exactly what the strength is of those units. All right. The Allied player places the units in the setup location as following. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Good. The Allied player places his units and... Okay. On turn 1, and only turn 1, there's going to be 3 phases of this game. Let's zoom this back just a little bit. There are On turn 1, the first 3 phases of the sequence of play are skipped, and play starts with the action phase. The sequence of action chits for the first 4 rounds is fixed, rather than determined by players drawing out of a chit cup. So this is a chit activation system, but on the what did it say? The first 4 action chits. So the first 4 action chits will always be the same to kind of give you a reasonable result. All right, so round 1, we're doing the Allied assault wave at the Allied amphibious assault. This is going to be section 9.4.1 if you're following along on the rulebook. The Allied player places his first wave chit in the first space on the action track. I can't actually show you the action track because I've got my map folded up, but basically you're going to have a chit And it's going to be the first wave chit like this thing right here. Let me grab it here. And you're going to place that. Hello. Today. Are you kidding me? Anywho, there it is. Kind of a little bit. Anyways, you're going to put that on. Okay. And you're going to put it on the action round track where all the chits that you're going to pull. In this round, the units in the first wave of the amphibious assault conduct attacks against the beaches. All right, so here we go. At Utah Beach. So we're going to be doing Utah Beach first, which is going to be right up here. Let's just move you kind of nice and close so you can see what's going on here. So this is going to be Utah Beach right here. There's just going to be one attack. You got each one of these Americans have a first wave box, a second wave box, and a third wave box. So obviously, you're just activating the ones during the first wave, which are going to be these two units right here. All right, so we're going to flip this up, and we have combat strength of 6, combat strength of 6, so that is going to be a total of 12. And then we take this little strong point thing, and we flip it over. Oh, it's a 3. So it's going to be a tough one. So I believe they have 1, 2s, and 3s. I believe. So you're going to take the combat odds, 12 divided by 3 is 4. So this is a 4 to 1. There are no column shifts, and the attack will result on the 4 to 1 column on the CRT. So we will look at the CRT chart. All right. So this game is very, very... There is basically one chart, right? So you got the combat table result chart with a little bit of keys. You got the Sherbrooke combat table. You have the weather effects and movement and combat. And then on the back side, you just have like a terrain effect chart with modifiers and notes. And that's it. That's all you get. That's it. That's all you need. One sheet. So we're going to calculate our odds here. It's 4 to 1. So obviously we're going to go on the 4 to 1 column here. And we're going to roll a 6-sided dice. And we rolled a 2. So we just look at the 4 to 1, and it's a DR. A DR is defender retreats 2 hexes. If no retreat is possible, defender is eliminated. Well, we already went through the rules to begin with. And that said that if the strong points were forced to retreat, they are eliminated instead. So this unit is gone. We're going to just put this up there. That's fine. Okay. So the 2 U.S. units advance into the vacated beach hex. An open beach marker is placed. Well, let's see if we can grab one of these open beach markers here. So this beach is now open for business, boys. Open for business. So open beach marker. And then the units then advance a second hex inland to stack with the paratroopers at hex 2303. So they may move onto the beach, and then they may advance one more hex, either here or here. But in our example, they're going to stack here with our paratroopers, which happen to be here. So they're going to... We're trying to follow along with what's going on in the actual book. Even though we'll roll our die separately, just to get a different result. All right, so that is Utah Beach done and over. Woohoo! We're moving on. We go left to right here so everyone knows what the next location coming up is going to be, or you should know what it is. I was there, and I was really disappointed when I was there because they freaking had it closed, and we couldn't get to it. That was Point de Hawk. They had it under construction. I'm going to set this down on these units, and hopefully it won't destroy the units. All right, so we did read a special rule about the unit on the first initial attack. On the very first attack, it has a special rule, which was, what was that rule again? You might be wondering, and I'm wondering myself, so that's why I'm asking. The U.S. 2nd Rangers Battalion that assaults Point de Hawk treats any exchange or BL result as a defender eliminated during the first wave only. Right, so they have to do it on the first wave, otherwise they're screwed. So let's flip over this stronghold, and we have a 2. So their combat strength is 3. 3 to 2 is going to be a 1-to-1 odds. 1-to-1 on this attack. Where's my charts? Here's my charts. All right, let's see what we get on a 1-to-1 here. Roll the 5. So 1-to-1, 5 is DR. Defender retreats, which is really good for the Americans. So the only one they would actually fail on is this one right here, where the attacker takes a loss. Everything else, NE is no. Actually, no effect. No effect would not work either, but they could take the BL and the DR. Right, I believe that's right. Let's look at the rule book and see what it has to say about all this. Let's see what happened to them in the rules, shall we? All right, at Point de Hawk, the force ratio of the 2nd Rangers Battalion is 3 to 2, which happens to be exactly what ours was, which is 1-to-1 odds, and the die roll of 3 gives the result of BL1. According to the special rule of the first wave round of Point de Hawk, this is treated as a DE. The strong point is eliminated, and the Rangers advance into the defending hex and then into hex 3102. So then, once again, they have climbed the bluffs and have destroyed the strong point. They will move into this hex, and then they're going to move into 3102, which is going to be right here. Dun 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 dun. Gotta pick up my camera carefully so I don't knock any of the other counters over. Well, there it is, boys. Here it is. Dun 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 dun. Righty. So of course we got Omaha coming up. That is going to be this one. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. I got a little video I want to play for you guys. Ooh. Here it is. June 6, 1944. Dull Green Sector, Omaha Beach. Let's get it, boys. Let's do it. Here we go. All right. At Omaha Beach, the 2 1st Wave Battalion regiments of the 29th Infantry Division with the combat strength of 12. So we have, I'm going to have to move you guys over just a little bit so I can actually reach this here. So, you notice that there's a special marker on here. Oh, this one's no good if you're an American. But we have these units here. Again, combat strength of 6, combat strength of 6. So that's going to be 12. They're obviously going to be going up against a strong point. But because of the determined defense at Omaha Beach, which the Germans put up, the Americans have, the Germans get a +3. Why this isn't focusing anymore, who knows? Because it wants to be dumb. Cause me problems, give me a headache. Yeah. Come on, jerk. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. All right. Let's read. We're almost through page 1 already. At Omaha Beach, the first wave regiments of the 29th Infantry Division with combat strength of 12 encounter a defended strength of 5. Well, let's see what our combat strength is. It is 3 plus 1. Ours is going to be 4. So 3 plus 1 is 4. They have a 12. So that is going to be a 3-1. A die roll. Let's see what the die roll is. Again, we need another die roll here. Oh, so 12 versus 4. Oh, that's a that's not good. That's a BL1. That's going to be a BL1. A BL1 for you guys is both attacker and defender lose a step. Defender first. Both lost. That must stand for BL as both lost. Okay? Both attacker and defender lose a step. Defender first. Well, let's see what happens here. Oh yes, so I'm reading through the rule book here. So their example, they rolled on their chart, and their result was a DR. So we'll just assume that we rolled a DR result, just so we can follow along with the rules. All right. So. The strong points ignore DR results if attacked only from a beach approach hex, which are the light blue boxes. If they're attacked just by the from the light blue boxes, which in this case it was, they ignore DR results. Thus, the strong point remains control of the hex, and the attacking unit remains on the beach approach hex. At the other Omaha Beach hex, the 2 first wave regiments of the 1st Infantry Division with a strength of 16. Oh, yes, they do have a strength of 16. They're 8s. So 8 at 8 is 16. We have a 3 plus 2. Oh, that's 5. All right, so 5, 10, 15. So that is a 3-1. And I'm going to just roll the die back here. Oh, okay. And that's going to give me an EX result. So an EX on the chart is exchange. The augmented strong point is eliminated but counts as 2 steps in an exchange. There's a special rule for that, 11.4.1. So the 2 U.S. units each take a step loss. So both of these units take a step loss. Both of those units take a step loss. This will go away. This will also go away. And these units now can advance onto the beach. There. These guys did not make it on the beach. Stubborn defenders. And oh, yes, that's right. It will get a open beach marker as well. Come here, open beach marker. Which is this one right there. And it looks like then they are both going to advance 1 hex inward to that location right there. All right, so that is the location, or that is how things look after the first wave. We still have units here, so we're going to see how that affects units coming from the second wave or the third wave coming up. And so that would be good information about how to handle that. This determined defense is going to stick around. This beach, of course, is open. And then, of course, you had your units that took damage there. Now we are moving over to the British side of things. So I need to reposition everything. Well, let's see. Trying to put this down on the counter so I don't... Fortunately, we don't have any big stacks of counters, so hopefully that won't cause any problems. All right. In the British zone, we have the 50th Infantry Division assaults the 2 gold beach hexes supported by the independent 56th Infantry Brigade. So you can see here we have the 56th Infantry Brigade here. And then we have the 50th Infantry Division. And then we'll flip up our little counter here, and it is a 2. So they have a 6. Plus 6 is 12. 12 to 2 is going to be a 6-to-1 results. And a 6-to-1 result on the result table is an automatic defender retreats, so you don't even need to. Any of these results will cause the enemy. So just I guess the game is saying just to speed things along, you don't even need to roll. You could roll if you wanted to, but this unit is going to be eliminated. And then they are going to get an open beach hex. And then they're going to move in 1 more hex.
Thanks for answering your phone.
Why?
Because I called you.
Why?
Because I wanted to tell you the pool people were.
I heard.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I heard them.
So
they were out there.
They actually worked. They almost ran me over in the blowing through a stop sign out there.
Moving on. What do we have here, you might ask? I don't know. I have a 1. 1, they have a 12. The best they can do is a 6-to-1. So otherwise it'd be 12-to-1. That's going to be enough to eliminate this unit. They are going to get a open beach marker here. And then they are going to move. Come here, you. There. Like that. This guy is going to move up there as well. Come on, you know you want to sit on top of there, nice and neat. Yes, you do. You know you do. All right. And last but not let's see what we have over here. We have another 1. They have a combat strength of 12 once again. That's going to be an easy wipeout there for the British. We won't even roll on that. So another open beach. All right, so I'm just trying to catch up here. Okay, 1 hex of the Juno Beach, 2 brigades of the Canadian 3rd Infantry Division. I believe. Oh, I see. Okay. Because this... Alright, so I see what's going on here. This is a town. So, in this example that they give in the rule book, alright, so we're going to follow along with the rule book, right? They had a 2 marker here. So, they have a 12 to 2, which is a 6 to 1 result. 6 to 1 result. But because there's a town here, Coursemele-sur-Malin. Corrales-sur-Malin. I don't speak French. I don't know. So because of that, this unit, you get the combat results of 6 to 1. But it's not over yet. You then apply a 2-column shifts to the left for the town. So the force ratio is 6 to 1 odds, but the final odds are shifted. I'm sorry, 1 column to the left because of the terrain. I'm sorry, it's a 1 column shift to the left for the town of Coursemele-sur-Malin. A die roll of 1 on the 5 to 1 column on the CRT gives the result of DR, which the strong point ignores. The strong point retains control of the beach, and the attacker units remain on the beach approach. So, we're going to follow along what happens in the book. Just so you guys at home can try this. And I'm not sure why this thing is being so dumb. I don't know if it's the angle of the glare. This camera is on its last leg with me. Stay focused. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, so that was that attack there. And these units right here, part of the SS and the part of the Canadians. Part of the Canadians over there as well. Good old Canadians. All right. They're going to attack this strong point here. And so we have the Canadian 3rd Infantry and the British 4th Special Service Brigade attack the strong point at Hex 4302, which is a combat factor of 1. Let's see what ours has. Oh, ours has a 1. How convenient. Yay. So there's a 1. The force ratio is going to be 5 plus 6 is 11. 11 to 1, which is going to eliminate this unit. Right here. Thank you. Knock this guy over slightly. So they will get an open beach hex. Then they will move up there. Now, can they move forward because of these zones of effect? That's what we're going to find out. Advance a second hex directly in then. Okay, so, yep, I guess whose units don't exert zone of control, I guess. Boom, boom. So they move in. All right, then last but not least, way over there at Sword Beach, 1 Brigade of the British 3rd Infantry Division and the 1st Special Service Brigade attack the strong point. They have a 6 and 5, once again an 11 versus, let's see what ours is. Ours is a 3. What is theirs? Nope, theirs is a 1, so we'll give them a 1. There. So again, 11 to 1 is going to eliminate it. They're going to get a open beach marker here. Come here, you. There you go. And then these guys are going to move in to the beach hex and then move forward. And into the beach hex and move forward. Okay. That, my friends, is round 1. We have completed round 1. 2 pages of our playbook are in the books. All right, so the second action is going to be the German player places a reaction chit in the second space on the ART. In a reaction round, the German player may activate 1 stack or 1 formation, Rule 2.4 or 9.34. Normally, the active unit conduct a movement action and activate Kampfgruppen, and Tiger battalions can attack 1 defending hex after movement is complete. However, in this first reaction round, the movement allowance of active units is halved, and units cannot use the road movement rate, which significantly reduces mobility. The German player quickly needs to contain the Allied forces by containing a continuous line of German units and zones of control. Although one of the assigned strongpoints at Omaha Beach is still holding out, there are several gaps in the line in the sector of the front. Over at the British beaches, the situation is the same. Moving on to page 4 of your playthrough guide, if you are following along. The German player decides to activate the 352nd Infantry Division. The 916th Regiment in Hex 3604. Okay, that should be about where Omaha Beach is. Let's slide this back over. Let's see if we can find the 916th Regiment in 3604. 3604, which is right there. Alright, so we're going to activate this unit here. Bring you guys back in a little bit closer. Its movement allowance is 6. But because this is the first turn, it is half, so they got 3. The clear hex costs the German unit 2 movement points, and the minor river hex side costs plus 2 movement points for a total of 4 movement points. However, a unit can always move 1 hex even if it lacks sufficient movement points, provided it moves only that 1 hex, and so the unit is able to make the move. He's going to move back to 3605. So he's going to move back across the river. Right there. So normally 2 to move into a hex, an open hex. And 2 to cross this minor river. Which is 4, which is more than half of his movement allowance. But because you can always move at least 1 hex, he's able to do that. All right, the reduced strength 9/14, which is back over here. And you might notice that it's the only unit for the Germans that starts reduced. This is a special rule about this unit. All right, moves 1 hex to 3306, so it's going to move up to this hex right there. And the battalion in St. Lo, which you guys can't really see because it's underneath my holder, which is way back here in St. Lo. Right here, this unit. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. So this unit right here is part of the 352nd. It is going to move. It's going to pull back to 4105. Oh, no, he moves to 33. Reduced strength. Oh, we're talking about this guy. Right. Moves 1 hex to 3306. 3306. So it's going to move over here. All right. The battalion in St. Lo moves 1 hex north. So it's going to move from here to here. The other unit that moved back was that half strength unit here in Treves. Not sure why he's moving it back there, but okay. Let's see. All right. And finally, the 915th Regiment in Hex 4104. 4104, okay. That's the unit getting swarmed over here by the British here. This unit right here is going to pull back to 4105. So he's going to pull back so he can't get surrounded and try to make more of a cohesive line, I guess. Yeah, so he's the 915th Regiment in Hex 4104 is pulled back to 4105 to avoid being attacked and probably mauled in the second wave round. Okay, yeah, because he's got a lot of units sitting there in front of him. He would just get completely decimated. 6 and 6 and 6 and 6. Even though they're attacking across the river, that's still going to be a pretty dangerous spot. So he decides to move back. Probably a smart move. All right, that is simply the German reaction because they only get to activate one formation or stack. So either a formation or stack. They chose the, what was it? The 352nd. That's it. So they chose the 352nd. So that's it. We're on page 4. We're going to round 3, the second wave of the Allied assault. This is where it's going to be a little more confusing because we have some more work to do here, boys. All right. Oh, Jesus, I knocked over some counters almost. That would have been a damn shame. All right. The Allied player places his second wave chit. Yes, there's a second wave chit. Just like the first wave chit you couldn't see, but there's a second wave chit. You're going to place that on the ART, Action Record Track. At the beginning of the round, all Allied second wave units are placed either in their assigned beach hex, if it is open, or in their assigned beach approach hex with a surviving first wave units if their beach is not open. Stacking limits are ignored in both cases. No movement allowance is allowed in this round. No movement allowance is allowed in this round. But both U.S. and British first and second wave units may attack adjacent German units. So let's take a look at Utah. So we have a second wave unit right here. It is going to automatically, well, hang on a second, because this beach is open. So Utah Beach is open, so the second wave regiment of the 4th Infantry Division is placed there. 1 Omaha Beach Hex. So we're going to place it right there, like that. We have 1 Omaha Beach Hex that's open, so this, let's slide over to Omaha Beach, shall we? We're going to take this one and the second wave, put it on the beach since it's open. 1 Omaha Beach, and so the second wave regiment of the 1st Infantry Division is placed there. The second wave regiment of the 29th Infantry Division and the 5th Ranger Battalion join the other regiments of the 29th in the beach approach hex. So these guys, right here, are going to, and we also get a ship here. So we're just going to leave that guy out. But these guys move up, and because this beach is closed, they're all considered in the approach now. Alright, so let's go to Gold Beach. Gold Beach. Alright, at Gold Beach, the second wave independent armor brigade is placed in 2104, which is going to be this guy right here. Bloop. Oh no, that's, hang on a second. Let me just make sure. Hang on a second. At Gold Beach, the second wave independent armor brigade is placed in hex 4102. The second wave independent armor brigade is placed in 4102. That would be this one, right? These are part of the third wave. If you notice that this says third wave, that's why there's an opening here. So these guys won't arrive yet, but these guys, part of the second wave, do arrive, and they also have a little ship there. I'll bring that out. Okay, Go Beach, right, okay, so that's second wave. This is probably third wave over there. Yep, it's third wave. So they don't do anything. These guys here will move up to the beach. Oops, I believe I messed up on these guys. These guys should just move up to the beach, right? So he's going to, let's see. That's at infantry, that's at, the armor brigade is placed in 4102. Yes, so that armor brigade actually goes just to the beach hex there. So, caught my mistake there in case you were wondering. All right. All right, so back to at Utah Beach. Now you can't do any movement, so basically you're just moving up the units that can move part of the second wave to bring them up. So at Utah Beach, there's going to be 2 attacks. The 2 regiments of the 4th Infantry at 2303, which are going to be these 2 guys right here. Attack the Ost Battalion. Which is right there. Alrighty. Come on, Mr. Camera. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the lack of like color or if it's glare or whatever, but it seems like it does have issues every once in a while, doesn't it? Alright, so these 2 yahoos right here. No, these are not the right 2. Are they the right 2? Let me see. 2303. No. Yeah, 2303. Yeah, I think that's 2303. Actually, they should be there. Yes. Alright, so we would flip up our Ost Battalion to see. And in the example that they're giving us, we're going to try to match their example. Let's see if we can find one. There we go. So the Ost Battalion has got a 2 combat factor. Alright, this guy is actually... Yes, this guy should have moved up, and I didn't move him up, sorry. So it should be these 2 guys. Now, why is this paratrooper here? That's a great question. Did I put him in the wrong... I did put him in the wrong hex. He should be right... what does that say? 2303. Yeah, that's there. That's what happened. Okay, I knew there was something wrong. So, a little bit of a bad setup there. But these guys should have... When they landed, these guys should have moved up. And then this guy here, was part of the second wave. He should have moved up there. Alright, so we have the 4th Infantry. Yep. Division there. 4th Infantry Division. So these 2 guys are going to attack this unit right here. Again, combat strength of 6 and 6 is 12 to 2 is 6 to 1. Which equals a 6 to 1. And they're assuming they rolled a 1 on the die roll, which would result in a DR star result. DR star. Since the defender consists of a single step, there is no step lost, and the Ost Battalion merely retreats 2 hexes, which it must be in the direction of the nearest German supply stores, if possible. In this case, the unit retreats to 2206. So... which is going to be... So these 2 units attack this. It's a single step unit, obviously. And on a result of DR star. Right, so DR star. Let's look at that on our little chart here. 6-1. You get a DR star. DR star says defender retreats as above. If 2 or more steps defending, defender also loses 1 step. So in this case, because it's only 1 step unit, it does not lose that step. It just must retreat 2 spaces. And in this case, it is going to retreat. Not like that. It's not. Come here, you. Thank you. It's going to retreat there, I believe. 2206, right? Yep. Both attacking units advance into the vacated defender's hex. So these guys here will advance into that hex right there. All right. Kind of lets these guys move up so that these guys coming up. These guys in the back over there can start to move in if these guys move the hell out of the way. And now, did I knock a bunch of units? Probably. Damn it. That's what happens when you have rule books and charts and everything out on the table when you have counters and you're trying to film and everything is just not ever hunky-dory. All right. All right, in the second attack, the regiment in 2403, which I'm assuming is 2403. That's going to be this one right here, I believe, right? Yep, 2403. It's going to take on that strong point right there. And in our example, it's going to have a combat strength of 3. Ooh. So it is a 6-3, which is only a 2-1. So 6 attack versus 3 is a 2-1. Then the results are shifted 1 column left for the marsh. So you can see this unit there is in marsh. This kind of dark green color stuff is marsh. Oops. So it's going to be shifted 1 column to the left for that. And a die roll of 3 on the 1-1 column. On the 1-1 column, die roll of 3 is a BL1, which is both attacker and defender lose 1 step, defender first. So in this case, don't do that. Which eliminates his strong point. So this goes away, bye-bye. And then he, of course, will get a step reduction. And then he is going to go into that hex and then advance into this hex, I believe is where he's going. Yep, looks good. Still got an open beach, plus we got a nice little buffer for these units to come on. All right, everyone's with me still? Everyone having a good time? Yay? All right. On to page number 5, my friends, if you're following along in your playbook. At Omaha. Ooh, and you're going to Omaha. Back to Omaha, boys. Back to Omaha. Right there, right. Yep, right there. Took me a second to find it. It's crazy. All right. All right, so this is going to be attacked. Let's see here. It's going to be attacked by all 3 regiments. the Ranger Battalion and one of the regiments of the 1st Infantry, which is going to give it a, in their example, right? We're trying to match their example. Their example, this is a 2 plus 3 is a 5. And if you add up all the combat factors there, 3 for the Rangers, 6, 3, 6, 6, says 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 24 and 8 is what? 32. 32 versus 5 is 6-1 odds. And don't forget, we have naval support now available. But maximum odds are already achieved without naval support. Naval support would have you would have liked to use the naval support over here in this attack here, but naval support isn't available in marsh hexes. So interesting. All right, here we go. So it's 32-5. Naval support would have been desirable in the attack on Utah Beach against a strong point, but naval support cannot be applied to marsh hexes. The SP is eliminated for no further loss. The 29th Infantry and 5th Rangers advance into the beach hex, and open beach markers place, and the attackers advance a second hex inland. All right, so because of all that combat strength, they finally are able to break through the defenses. This is removed. The Allies receive an open beach marker. These guys will move 1, 2. You know what? No. These are the guys that are attacking. Sorry, it's the come here, you. Really, you're gonna be like that? I get you. Okay, all right. I'll remember that. Don't you worry about that. I will fucking remember that. So they're this unit. "29th Infantry and 5th Rangers advance into the beach hex. And one of them will go over there, and the others will go in and through. This one will go in and through. And Farnley, this will also go in and through. So they've broken through at Omaha, my friends. Omaha is open for business. Damn it, stop. What are you in the hell are you doing? Whew. The board game looks like a GMT layout. Yes, sir, it is most certainly a GMT game. This, of course, if you're just joining us, is the Dark Summer in Normandy 1944, D-Day, and the Battle for Normandy, June 6th to August 21st. Game designed by Ted Racer and published by GMT Games. All right, we are using our playbook example. This is the playbook example from the rulebook, the playbook, where you can go in and it teaches you how to play the game. We're going through that example step by step, so if you're watching at home, you can also play along with this as well. We are on page 5 if you're following along with us. Great, thank you very much. All right, so we're going over to Juneau Beach now. Over to Juneau. Don't you know? I know, it's an old joke. What can I say? So we're going to move you up to Juno. There's Juno. The two Canadian brigades at 4202. So these two guys right here. Right? 6 and 6 is 12 into 2. 12 into 2. They're also going to be supported by the Independent Armor Brigade. This guy is an independent unit. It is also going to help. So that's 6, 12, 18 to 2. And that'll put it at 2 to 1 odds. There's a column shift left, don't forget, because of this stupid town that's there. The minor river does not provide, so you can see there's a river actually between where the brigade wants to attack that strong point. But the minor river does not provide a second shift left. So you only get the shift left if there was no other shift left there for the minor river. The attack is being made on the same 5 to 1 column on the CRT, but this time, since the strong point is being attacked from a hex not on the beach, it's being attacked by over here as well as just units coming onto the landing boxes. So it's being attacked elsewhere. The defender can no longer ignore DR results. We roll a die and we get an EX. The strong point is eliminated. EX, of course, is exchanged, so the strong point is eliminated. And one of the Canadian brigades is also taking a step loss. We will just choose this one. This will then finally get the very last beach marker. That is the last one. They will move in. Now the question is, do they move forward? Let's find out. Yep, 4204. Yep, so they all move up there. Of course they do, after I grabbed them and moved them. They will move there. And this guy will move there as well. Beauty. So that's Juno Beach done. And dun 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 dun. Also at Juno Beach, the units in 4303, which are these two units right here, are going to attack this stronghold right there. And it has a combat strength factor of 1. So 6 and 5 is 11, 11 to 1. Yep, and so it's going to eliminate it. And now these units can move. Oop, come here, you. Stop. Move into that hex, and then move into that hex right there. 4405. If you're keeping track at home, 4405. All right, it's Sword Beach, way down the beach. I'm trying to make sure I don't trip over any counters here. So we still have these first wave units here that... wait a minute. First wave units in hex 4604 attack the strong point here. So these two units here are going to be 6 and 5 is 11. And in their example, I believe it's a 2. So 11 to 1 is 5. I'm sorry, 11 to 2 is a 5 to 1 odds. A 5 to 1 odds. And they are going to eliminate it with the die roll of, I don't know, they don't really talk about it. So The attacker's strong point at 5-1 odds, eliminating it for no losses to themselves and a second hack. Yeah, so it's just, they killed it, and then they moved into that hex. And then I believe they're going into this hex. I'm going to check the rules. But I believe they're going to move it. Come on. You dirty rat. Sometimes you just got to do it with the old fingers, I guess. They're going to move into 4606. Yep, that is 4606. All right. The 2 brigades of the 30th Infantry Division at Sword Beach attack the strong point at Quastrahan. That would probably be that one right there. The force ratio is 12-1, which equals 6-1 odds. It's shifted to left because of the city terrain. This one must be in the city. Yes, it's in the city. Yep, sure enough. To left, and it's going to leave it on a 4-1. They rolled a 4 result, which results in an exchange. So the strong point is eliminated. And one of the attacking brigades takes a step loss. I guess we will just flip this guy right there. That's fine. So they will move into that hex. And then the other advances a second hex into this hit. All right, so it doesn't say if it's a reduced unit or yeah, I guess that would be right. All right, finally, the Independent Armored Brigade at Sword Beach, which is this armor brigade, is going to attack this one over here. And it has a combat factor of 3. Where are you? So 3. So 6-3 is 2-1. But the allied player decides to add his naval force. Where's our naval force? Boom, we're going to throw in our naval. So an extra 6. So 12-3 is 4-1. And they roll a die roll. It is a 6, which results in a DE, defender eliminated, which eliminates the strong point. The attacker advances into the defender hex, and then 4504. Boom. Just like that. So there is going to be your outcome going into round number 4, which is going to be the second German reaction to all of these crazy American moves as they are busting through the beaches. So I'm going to slide you back over here as we contemplate what the Germans are going to do. As you can see, it's a very precarious position for the Germans already. Well, let's see what the rule book tells us. It is literally only one paragraph. Here's the paragraph. That's it. That is it. And then we move on to the next page. We move on to more Americans. Wave 3. So we're going to finish this up with the second German reaction. The German player places a reaction chit into the action round tracker. In this round, reacting units have their full movement allowance and can use the road rate. Something has to be done in the British sector, and the German player activates the 21st Panzer Division. 1 kg moves from hex 4308. 4308. Wait. 4308. 4308. That was probably this one here that I got moved. Okay. So, let's bring you guys over here. All right. Oh, you son of a bum. All right, so this guy here is going to move. He's going to go 2, 4, 6, 8. Because 2 points for clear terrain. 2, 4, 6, 8. He's going to end up in 4006. All right, and this unit here, the other KG unit, way over here. In 4911, which is this guy right here. He is going to move. He's going to move down, two. He's going to cross the bridge here and go into Con. Right there. Glad I don't have to buy this game. Might just have to break out my old D-Day game. And then the third one moves from 5009. He's over here. Right here. He is going to move here, and here. 4608. No, I'm sorry, 4806. Wait, what? 4806. I'm sorry, he's coming all the way over here. That makes a little more sense. And let's just check the chart just to make sure. Oh, this guy ends up finally moving there, right. 126, 68, yep. We got a strong point here. We still have a strong point there. All right, so that is all the way up to round number 5 where the U.S. does their third wave move. And then we have a German reaction, and then round 7 combat. Round 8 British moves. Round 9, yeah, it's going to be a while before we get through this. So I'm going to go ahead and separate this into 2 live streams. So we'll go ahead and call this complete. We're moving on to page number 7 next time. So that is going to be it for you guys. That is first, second, third, and fourth rounds of the original initial amphibious assault by the Allied player on D-Day. So I'll kind of give you an overview here. If you wanted to place these counters, set these counters up for yourself for the next episode, so you can see where everything is located. And you can just put this on pause later and see if there's pretty much everything right out of the rule book, or you can just follow along with the rule book and get to the same point that we are, if that's what you want to do. But that's it. I appreciate everyone coming out. I appreciate everyone stopping by. If you did enjoy this, be sure to give us a like, a thumbs up. Let us know that you like to see this. And we'll see you for part 2 next time. So thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys soon. Take care. Have a good night.